afternoon. Welcome. Can you hear me? My name is Tom Gorman. I'm Assistant Dean in the College of Health and Human Services. I came here as a student many, many years ago, not that long after the nursing consortium program was started. So this is a historic event. This program is transformational to the community, to the state, to the region, and most importantly to the university and the lives of all the people that you are going to touch as nurses. So I just have a couple of housekeeping. I've been asked to just do some housekeeping things, but I felt like I needed to mention that because it's so important. The other thing I want to do, since it's a historic event, everybody smile, okay? I got it. And now I'm going to turn my phone off or turn it down. And I'd ask you to all do the same. Please silence your phones. Take this opportunity to do that. And then I'm going to ask the students to get up and walk back out into the lobby so that you can process in together. In the meantime, I'll also mention that if you're not familiar with Olds Camp Hall, there are restrooms out across the lobby should you need to use the facilities or afterwards. So they left me up here with open space. I can't help it. I've got to talk. No, I just want to say there's been a lot of people that have been instrumental in putting this program together, not just today, but working with nursing. And we do have a 50-year tradition of nursing at BGSU, and this is obviously a new step, a very exciting step. But students are part of this tradition, and it's such a wonderful occasion to bring it here to BGSU campus and to start the next 50 years of this profession of nursing. How many people are Falcons, alumni or current students? Good. It's nice to see all of you here, and it's nice to welcome all of our guests. And you know when Freddie's here, it's official. With his lab coat. All right. I would like to now introduce the director of the BGSU School of Nursing, Dr. Shelley Bussard.
Oh, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for attending today. I think our students are in the back trying to get organized and lined up to come back in. But on behalf of the faculty and staff of the School of Nursing, we welcome you to our first pinning ceremony at Bowling Green State University. I'm Dr. Buzzard, Director of the School of Nursing, and I want to express my gratitude for your presence here today to celebrate this important milestone in our students' educational journey. We have to wait in silence just kidding. So Professor Elizabeth Martin was chosen by our students to represent them here as their speaker, as well as to help them enter into this atmosphere. And so she's out there gathering them and getting them into their lineup, and hopefully she's going to do that quickly, along with Candace, our secretary, who has really put together a beautiful evening for us all. Sorry. Okay. I would like to present to you the class of 2023, joined by Professor Elizabeth Martin. All right. Okay, well, as many of you know, these students sitting here today are the first students to graduate from the School of Nursing at Bowling Green State University. They are the first group of students that got to experience our new skills and simulation lab, and among the first group of students across the nation to take the next generation NCLEX exam. They're excited for that. Every student sitting here today has endured hardships, from being in a pandemic, the university shutting down, taking pivotal classes online, missing classes due to having COVID or some other illness, losing family members, losing sleep, missing their loved ones, and the list goes on. But today, we are celebrating the milestones, the successes, and the perseverance that each one of you has shown these past 4 years. Today, you will receive your nursing pin, which signifies your entrance into the nursing profession. Around 1860, Florence Nightingale was awarded the Red Cross of St. George in recognition for her service during the Crimean War. After that, hospitals began recognizing exceptional nurses by awarding them with a pin. Today, colleges and universities across the nation have pinning ceremonies to recognize a graduate's achievement and transition into the nursing profession. The pin also signifies membership into a society of nurses. An estimated 29 million nurses worldwide and nearly 4 million in the US. I think I can speak for all the faculty here today and say, welcome to the club. I would like to welcome Dr. James Ciesla, Dean of the College of Health and Human Services, and Dr. Joe Whitehead, Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic and Student Affairs, to say a few words.
Thank you so much, Shelley, and greeting. Welcome to BGSU. Let me start off by extending a special welcome to our guests. Welcome to BGSU, welcome to the College of Health and Human Services, and welcome to our new School of Nursing. Thank you for the many ways you have supported and do support members of this nursing class. Today is an important day in the history of the College of Health and Human Services, although, as Tom Gorman said, we've been awarding the BSN degree for 50-plus years. This is the first pinning ceremony held on this campus. So we think this is a very special time and a very special day. It's a tradition that I'm sure will continue for many years forward for time immemorial. But more than anything, and most of all, this is a very, very special day for our students and our student nurses. Congratulations to each of you from my heart. It's my opinion that you officially become nurses today when you receive your pin, at least in spirit. You will, of course, want to join us for commencement on April 29th to receive your BSN degree. All these things said, I'd like to introduce our Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Joe Whitehead. Dr. Whitehead has been a very strong supporter of nursing here at BGSU, and I'm very grateful for that. Dr. Whitehead.
Thanks, Dean Ciesla. Good evening, everyone. It's a great day, isn't it? As you can tell by the picture on the right side, left side up there, right? This guy with gray hair and everything. So I will need care sometime in the near future. How about that? So I was invested because I wanted to get that care going down in the future. I've been here about almost 4 years. And before I came on board, there was this discussion of nursing at BGSU. And there was this institution up north of us who said they didn't want to partner with us anymore. And so there were different scenarios being discussed, and they came up with the discussion of, let's do it ourselves, let's control our own destiny. So we've gone from not having a school of nursing to having a renovated portion of a building for the School of Nursing, and now we have you here, will be the first graduating class from the School of Nursing at BGSU. So congratulations to each of the graduates. I want to say thank you to all the parents, families, and others who supported you throughout this journey, because I know that it's very difficult in a nursing program. You have to go through a lot of heartache, okay, a lot of stress, and we pin you, you graduate, and there's a whole NCLEX waiting for you, right? I mean, this is like, what's this is all about? But we know you're well prepared. That's the key thing. You've gone through the rigors here at BGSU. You've gone to state-of-the-art sim and skills lab, so we know you're ready. Jim said that in spirit you will be graduates, nurses, after tonight. Well, I'll be the first one to shake your hand crossing the stage on the 29th of April. So again, congratulations. This is a special day. Celebrate, and then I see you on the 29th of April at commencement. Thank you.
Thank you, Provost Whitehead and Dean Ciesla. I would like to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Sean Ulrich, Chief Nurse Executive and Senior Vice President of Clinical Operations at Corewell Health West in Michigan. Dr. Ulrich is an alumnus of BGSU with a BSN degree through the Up North Consortium. She earned a master's degree in nursing from Kent State University and a doctoral degree in health service administration from the University of Alabama, Birmingham. She has experience as a registered nurse at St. Vincent Hospital in Toledo, a Cleveland Clinic. She's been a clinical instructor, clinical nurse specialist, and a chief nursing officer. Welcome, Dr. Ulrich.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I am so excited to be here. It is such an honor to be giving a keynote address to you on this inaugural pinning ceremony for the first graduating class in the BGSU nursing program. Congratulations to all of you. Well deserved. And thank you, Dr. Bussard, and thank you to the faculty and staff, parents, family, and friends who made this day possible for these students. And here we are today on the precipice of graduation. I'm just curious, how many of you have a job already secured? How many had more than one job offer? Okay. So if you don't have a job yet, if you'll see me right after this ceremony, we can take care of that. And to the family and friends in the back, I'm not sure if you could see all of that, but there's a lot of hands that went up. You should feel really good because they're all going to be gainfully employed really soon. To the students, you entered college when our country was facing escalating issues: climate change, racism, economic instability, and a mental health crisis. Only to have the heat raised with a pandemic and political chaos. What you experienced is unlike anything that any of us in this room experienced. Yes, we have shared history, but you have a unique perspective. I trust that your learnings will serve you well in the years ahead as you embark on a profession, a career dedicated to caring, a career where you will make a difference in the lives of others. The type of difference you make is up to you. A career that will teach you about life if you listen to it, and a career where you will find purpose and meaning if you allow it. It's been said that the two most important days in your life are the day that you're born and the day you realize why you were born. For me, the why occurred several years ago. I was sitting in my office and I received a bouquet of flowers. It wasn't my birthday, it wasn't my anniversary, and my husband didn't screw up that I was aware of. And I opened the card and it read, "You were our support then. Now, 10 years later, cancer-free. Love, Doug and Luann." And I sat in disbelief. Doug was a patient on our oncology unit. He had a diagnosis for which there was no good treatment, and he was enrolled in a phase 1 clinical study. The purpose of such studies is to test the safety of the medication, not the efficacy. Doug had 2 little girls and a wife that he adored, and I was pregnant with our first child. I knew we were having a little girl. My husband didn't, because for sure he would have screwed up on that one. And yes, we are Falcon sweethearts. Doug lived a distance from the hospital and didn't have very many visitors. And he was alone and he was afraid. I mean, really afraid. So much so that he would shake before he got the treatments. And I would go in to see him every day and I would talk to him. I tried to reassure him, encourage him. I said we would take care of him, and we shared stories. But it didn't stop him from shaking. The treatment lasted a full week, repeated every 4 weeks, and lasted 6 months. And then I didn't see him much anymore because my role changed, and I wasn't on that unit anymore. And then 10 years later, a bouquet of flowers. What I did was far from extraordinary, but it was meaningful to Doug, and it was meaningful to me. I found my why. Work has provided meaning for me, and it's also been one of my greatest teachers. I've had the privilege, while working at the bedside, to be a part of people's lives at some of the most vulnerable times. And I learned about the indomitable strength of the human spirit. Like Doug, who had so much fear but continued to persevere and go on. And I learned from others about our own human frailty. I was caring for a young woman who developed a life-threatening illness. She was getting conventional treatment for several months, however, wasn't responding. And her only real option was a bone marrow transplant. She had 5 brothers and sisters, which meant there was a relatively good chance of a match. All of the children were tested, her siblings. There were no matches. At that time, unrelated matches weren't considered. The picture became more clear when Mom shared, with only a few, that the person her daughter grew up calling Dad was not her biological father, and no one in the family knew it. It was a secret. Can you imagine? What I learned is the cover-up is worse than the crime. And what I also learned is that the immense healing power of forgiveness. But learning doesn't always come with such tragic consequences or tragic narratives, right? I learned that little things can really make a difference in the lives of others. I recently connected with a nurse on LinkedIn. She was somebody that I hired over 30 years ago. And she's now a life coach and a consultant. And she said to me, I still have the note you sent to me and the penny you sent me. Now, what I would do when I was a manager, I'd send a note and I'd send a penny that had a 4-leaf clover cut out of it. Now, it's perhaps a little cheesy and perhaps a little silly, and it was silly because I paid $5 for a penny, but the fact of it was she had this after 30 years, and that was the beginning of her career. It made a difference. I brought a few things along for show and tell. I call them my totems. And totems really just represent things that are symbolic in your life or represent some part of your life. I think it sounds better than trinkets. There was a 12-year-old little girl who was the feistiest thing I ever met. She had so much strength and determination and sass, all at the same time. You would want to ground her and hug her. Her creativity was proudly on display, with the stars that she painted on her bald head and the trinkets that she made for each of us in the staff. This was many years ago that I got this from this little girl. It's a clothespin with a key on it. What this symbolizes to me is first and foremost sass, and second of all is determination. This silicone bracelet was something that my doctoral student colleagues wore at our graduation. In doctoral programs, there's a lot of statistics. And don't have that deter you from wanting to go on any further, but there's a lot of statistics. And our cohort of students could be a little snarky, perhaps a little testy at times. And so one day, in a moment of sheer fatigue, one of my classmates asked the professor, who decided that p less than 0.05 is statistically significant? At which somebody else chimed in, and who said that's true? Now, our professor chimed in rather quickly and calmly and said, well, truth be told, God loves p less than 0.06 as well. And so we had that emblazoned on these silicone bracelets, and it says, God loves p less than 0.06 also. And that night we cheered to this, maybe had a few too many toasts to this, but what it represented was bonding and a symbol of determination and a quest for learning. While I'm no longer practicing at the bedside, I continue to learn in my leadership practice. I've learned a lot about the shadow that nurses cast, that leaders cast. The shadow of the leader is never more on display than when a toddler drops something, breaks it, and says, damn it, right? Children watch and listen closely. That happens with leaders too. I was in a meeting, and it was taking a break, and there was about 5 or 6 of us who were leaving the room all at one time. And I was the first one out, and I heard a little boy that was just screaming and carrying on. And he was not happy, but even more unhappy was the woman that was with him, who was Grandma. And I walked over to them, and I asked them if I could help. Grandma was lost, couldn't remember where she parked, and the little boy, who was about 5 or 6, was just being cranky. And so I put my hand on this little boy's back, and I gently started moving him to where I knew they should go. At the same time, all of my colleagues who left that room dispersed. They scattered, right? Because here's a screaming kid and Grandma who's lost. And he had a drink in his hand, and I said, "Is that coffee?" And he started laughing, and he said, "No." And I said, "Well, then what is it?" And he said, "It's orange juice." And I said, "Oh, you must have already had your coffee." At which point he really stopped screaming, and he was laughing. And he said, "I don't drink coffee." And I said, "Well, then how do you wake up?" At which point I think now he realizes I'm just a silly woman. So we keep walking. I go to the elevator, get them down the elevator, walk them to their car, close the door, away they go, end of story. Until a month later. I was in a meeting, and we start our meetings with some type of recognition or a good story, because usually meetings go downhill after that. And so the meeting, as the meeting was starting, a woman started to recognize me. You see, she was at that previous meeting, the one we walked out of with the little boy screaming. She was there, and I thought everybody scattered. But she didn't scatter. She was actually right behind me, and she saw the entire situation. And what she said to me is she recognized me for diffusing a rather difficult situation. And she said, "What you did was magical." Magical. And I just had to chuckle to myself, because clearly, if that were my children or my grandchildren, that magic would have never worked, right? It just would have never worked. But to me, it was a clear sign that people are watching. They're watching what you do in all situations. I ask you to consider 3 questions as you embark on your career and as you look for meaning in your work. The first is, why are you here? The question applies to anybody that you're working with, and I would submit to you that your team will be infinitely stronger if everybody on your team knows why we're here. For those who are still interviewing, and for those who will definitely apply for jobs in the future, ask the person you're interviewing with, why are you here? Asked another way, why do you do this work? Teaching Elephants to Dance is a book about Dr. Denton Cooley, a world-famous cardiac surgeon, and how he created meaning for everybody on his team. The author of the book trailed Dr. Cooley with the hopes of learning about him, and one day on rounds, he saw Dr. Cooley go over and talk with a man who had a mop in his hand. And that conversation seemed to last a long time. After it was ended, the author goes up to the young man with the mop in his hand and said, "I noticed that was a rather long conversation." And he said, "Yes, Dr. Cooley and I talk often." To which the writer asks, "What is it that you do?" And his response was, "We save lives." Dr. Cooley made him a part of the team. We save lives. So why are you here? Question number 1. Number 2, what are you learning? What are you learning about life in your profession? I learned about the power of sass and the power of strength with that little 12-year-old girl. I learned about being present, about relationships and showing up and making a difference with Doug. I learned that the cover-up is worse than the crime and that forgiveness is healing. And I learned that simple things, like a penny with a 4-leaf clover, can make an impact. And lastly, to whom are you making a difference? To whom are you making a difference? And that one you have to think about. It will be difficult, and impossible sometimes to recognize an impact with some people. And with others, it will just take time to reveal itself. I got a bouquet of flowers 10 years after the fact, 10 years later, that said I made a difference. That will stay with me forever. So if a bouquet of flowers comes to you in 10 years, what will your card say? Danny Thomas said, "All of us are born for a reason, but all of us don't discover why. Success in life has nothing to do with what you gain in life or accomplish for yourself. It's what you do for others." I sincerely wish you strength, courage, perseverance, and the ability to live with full intention of serving humanity. Congratulations, graduates.
Wow, thank you, Dr. Ulrich, for your very inspirational and thought-provoking words. It's very, very wonderful. Our next speaker is one of our graduating students. Our faculty voted on an outstanding student who they believe has demonstrated professionalism and dedication to the Fellowship of Nursing, both for our program and for their cohort. So, of course, this was a difficult decision to make. However, amongst them, we have Austin Thome, who is going to say a few words.
All right, I got to follow up that speech, so we'll see how that goes. How's everyone today? All right. Today marks a special occasion for all of us graduate-level nursing students. This is a time for us to come together and celebrate the nearing end of a long and challenging journey. As we gather here, I am filled with an overwhelming sense of pride and gratitude for what we've achieved together. We are the first graduating class of this new nursing program, and we have faced many challenges along the way. We have spent countless hours studying, practicing our skills, and sacrificing our time and energy to become the best nurses we can be. But through it all, we have had each other. We have formed an unbreakable bond, a bond that has sustained us through the toughest of times. We have been there for each other through the good days and the bad, cheering each other on and providing support when it was needed the most. And let's not forget about the incredible staff that have guided us every step of the way. They have dedicated their time and effort to ensure that we are well prepared for the challenges that lie ahead. They have been our mentors, our advocates, our cheerleaders, and always there to offer guidance and support. As we move forward in our careers, let us never forget the lessons that we have learned here. Let us carry the values of compassion, empathy, and excellence that we have cultivated during our time in this program. Let us continue to support each other and grow as professionals and as people. To my classmates, I want to say how proud we should be of ourselves and each other. We have worked so hard to get to this point, and we have proven that we have what it takes to become amazing nurses. I am honored to have been part of the journey with you. To the families and friends who have supported us along the way, thank you. You have been our rock, our source of encouragement, and our motivation. Without your support, we would not be here today. In closing, I want to say that this pinning ceremony is not just an end, but a beginning. It is time for us to reflect on our journey, on the journey that we have taken, and look forward to the journey that lies ahead. Let us go forth from here with pride in our hearts, determination in our souls, and commitment to making a difference in the lives of those we serve. Thank you. All right. The cohort has asked who they would like to be their faculty representative speaker, and we chose Professor Elizabeth Martin.
everybody. All right, I am pleased, I'm honored, and I am humbled by being elected and selected for your faculty representative for the BGSU School of Nursing inaugural class. We have been through many hours of class together, shared lots of tears of joy, of stress, and of sorrow. So this time in celebrating is a transition to the next step in your career, and it is bittersweet. I am so proud of how much you have all grown in the past 2 years in the nurse that you will become. We have several awards and recognitions to present tonight. Recipients, please join me on the stage for your certificate. Our first award will be presented to the Academic Scholar Award. This award is in recognition of the highest GPA through the 3rd semester of the BSN program. All right, and the recipients are, Kristen Neat and Anna Winger. Please come on up. Kristen and Anna were both tied at a GPA of 3.7 for this whole time. So that is a major accomplishment. The next award is for class representative. A cohort survey was sent out asking the seniors to vote for 2 or 3 of their fellow students who they felt both best represented their cohort and who they would like to represent the class of 2023 in future events. I would like to invite Molly Beitwerk and also Anna Winger to the stage. We look forward to seeing everybody in the future. Next, I would like to see Julia Blant, Tansy Butchin, Amaya Carlson, Sydney Hochter, Jamila Hunter, Olivia Light, Chloe Moyer, Kristen Neat, Samantha Saunders, Anna Winger, to join me here on stage. Oh, yeah. These ladies are recognized for their academic achievements, and all of the students have maintained at least a 3.5 or above throughout their 3rd semester here at Bowling Green. And again, a major accomplishment. Am I going to? Next one is an award by the nursing faculty. On behalf of the faculty of the School of Nursing, I would like to present the next award. It's called the Excellence in Nursing Award. This Excellence in Nursing Award is presented to a graduating student who met the following criteria. They demonstrate the American Nurses Association scope and standards of practice, such as leadership skills, advocating for patients, upholding ethical standards, and exhibiting professionalism. Also, having excellent communication skills, including a calm, confident manner and clear communication, following QSIN competencies, using evidence-based practice, institutes quality and safety and patient-centered care, and displays excellence, teamwork, and collaboration. And lastly, provides services to the School of Nursing or the community. This award goes to Kristen Neat. Next one we have in clinical judgment, and you all are very familiar with your clinical judgment, aren't you? So clinical judgment is a critical area in which is the future of nursing. Clinical judgment is defined as an interpretation or conclusion about a person's needs, concerns, or health problems, and the decisions or actions the nurse will take to modify their nursing care to improve the patient's response. Clinical judgment is a trait that all nurses strive to achieve within their practice. This next award is for exemplary in clinical judgment. The criteria used in evaluating this award are the possessions of an exemplary clinical judgment skills, which has effective noticing, interpreting, responding, and reflecting, the use of clinical judgment skills to make decisions regarding patient care, excellence in communication skills, demonstration of outstanding skill performance, and reflecting on action to improve one's practice. We are proud of all of our students with the clinical judgment, but we would like to recognize Molly Bytwerk and Austin Thome. All right, and lastly, on behalf of the nursing faculty, our final reward is in leadership in nursing. This award is for a student who demonstrates leadership, motivates and prepares other students as leaders, participates in community activities and gives feedback to others, mentors fellow students, promotes activity in nursing organization, creates opportunities for engagement and involvement, contributes to the overall excellence of the nursing program, creates a positive working environment, and embodies ethical and values of nursing. And this award goes to Anna Winger. Congratulations to all you all. I will see you on Wednesday. And the next is Dr. Buzzard. Oops, sorry.
All right, congratulations, everyone. Okay, we are going to invite on stage Dr. Oberhaus and Dr. Jacobs, who will be presenting our students with their pins.
Good evening. We thank you all for coming tonight to join us. It's with great pride that the entire faculty and staff at Bowling Green State University School of Nursing awards each and every one of you your first nursing pin as a graduate of the BGSU BSN class. The pins that you received today officially welcome you to the profession of nursing and signify your commitment as a BGSU graduate, as we say, a school for the public university, and your commitment here today in serving the public good as a healthcare professional. We'd like to introduce our inaugural class. Julia Ballant. Olivia Bolin. Tansy Buchin. Butchin. Oh. I'm so sorry. Molly Bytwork.
Amaya Carlson. Caroline Cheney. Diana Cooper. Catherine Fisher.
Morgan Flynn. Tara Grossenbacher. Sydney Hochter. Michaela Honan. Jamila Hunter.
Alexander Johnson. Lindsay Joseph. Megan Kaufman. Jordan Kukta. Olivia Light.
Mariah McDaniel. Olivia McDougall. Hannah McMillan. Hunter Miller.
Chloe Moyer. Kristen Neat. Amaya Ocker. Timothy Ray.
Kaylee Roberts. Samantha Saunders. Maddie Schroeder. Congratulations. Nikki Seal. Mackenzie Spradlin. Austin Thum.
Michaela Watson. Delana Williams. Anna Winger. William Young. Jaylyn Witham. On December 3rd, 1920, 23-year-old Helena Regina Cisco graduated from the Massillon City School of Nursing in Portage County, Ohio. Over the next 7 years, she worked as a traveling nurse in Michigan, Texas, and New Mexico before starting a family. Over 100 years later, I'm so excited, her great-granddaughter continues her legacy. Her great-great-granddaughter. Today, Helena's granddaughter, Becky Allman, is proud to present her very own granddaughter, Jaylyn Witham, with this pin and ring.
We congratulate each and every one of you on this amazing accomplishment. I'm so sorry. And appreciate everyone that has played a pivotal role in supporting these new nurses.
Okay, now we have to talk again. Well, congratulations to everybody. This is a beautiful, beautiful ceremony, and I thank you all to the families and friends, faculty, staff, our administration, everyone that's come here today. If you recall, back in August, feels like an eternity ago, but we came together for our lamp lighting ceremony, and at that time we did the Nightingale Pledge. And today, as we finish our educational journey, I would like for all of our students to stand, and we will renew that pledge today. Okay. And the words are up on the screen for you. Okay. I pledge myself here. Everybody can say it together. I pledge myself here to practice my profession with integrity. I will strive to maintain and elevate the standard of nursing, both as a science and as an art. I wholeheartedly recognize the importance of high standards of care and of personal accountability. I devote myself to the healing, protection, and welfare of those committed to my care. I accept a duty to work for the improvement of health in the communities in which I live and work. I will hold in confidence all personal matters committed to my keeping and will respect the privacy of medical information. I will act with compassion in ethical matters. I will not knowingly administer or consume any harmful substance. I commit to interdisciplinary collaboration and lifelong learning. I fully acknowledge the seriousness of the responsibility that I accept in my calling and the significance of this pledge I take today. You may be seated. Thank you. Well, thank you. Thank you again for everybody for coming. I think you could see from this ceremony how proud we are of all of you today. Not only the faculty and staff, but your friends and family that have joined us today. I thank you all for attending and supporting our students through this monumental time. Students, you may please rise and follow Professor Martin as a recessional. They'll be taking some pictures out there in the hallway, but please stay, enjoy some refreshments, and then you can take your pictures as you want. But thank you all for coming.